morning, well, afternoon, everybody out there in YouTube land. After the night run, I ended up sleeping in till about 12:30 here. It's a little later than we normally do, but we had a good day yesterday, and it's definitely warmer than it was. I'm sitting here in a t-shirt, and I get to have my socks. So, definitely an improvement. But if you look at the weather ahead, it's still going to get into like the upper 30s, high 40s here in a couple days. Right now, we're just kind of hanging out. I got everything ready. Routine, getting everything charged. I have to charge my red headlight as well, so the 18650 battery. Planning probably to do another night run tonight because the low is going to be 52, which is about the same as last night, and then we can get a little bit farther south before we have this cold front come in, because after the next couple weeks it seems like the highs and lows are a good 20 degrees less around this area, and the lows at night will be 40s and the highs during the day will be like low 60s, upper 50s, which is right now what we're getting as the low at night. So it'll be a big change, and I want to get south before that, like I was talking about in the videos yesterday, for my batteries and just for comfort. I'm a Viking. We don't want shirts on. Anyway, so wait till this barge passes just to make things a little bit easier. And I'm gonna head out for the day, and we should make it down, I believe, Lansing, Iowa is the name of the town. Once this barge goes and I get up at the nav station, I'll check and stuff on the map and everything. Let's see what it's called. Alright everybody, we are setting off for the day. It's a little later than I wanted. It's about 2:30. I was hoping to get up about noon and be off, but we stayed out way later than I thought I was gonna. But it was majestic last night. It was amazing. There was a moon rise and a moon set. Most of the time you don't really ever see that in your normal day in life, but when you're out navigating by the moon, about 2:33, it goes below the tree line, and then it gets really dark. And it was cool. I had my red hunting flashlight on. Red channel buoys, I just hugged the port side of the channel, and it worked really good. And you could see, once your eyes adjusted, it was amazing. When I had to go through the lock and dam, it was real bright, and I lost my night vision. But after about an hour, it was really cool. Just the blue light from the cockpit saying, like, bright wise, and I had to set my phone down as dim as it would go, and even that was super bright. And with these Samsung Galaxy S22s, it's kind of nice. They now have an update they did not too long ago. You can hit extra dim, and when we were hunting the raccoons on the homestead here, when they got Buttercup, my kitty, which was really sad, I learned about that, and it was really helpful. And then last night, navigating with the boat, it was super helpful. The night mode as well, but it didn't get as dim. My phone and everything else did. And then the standard Horizon radio that I have, portable radio, that has night mode. So that wasn't very bright, so you could keep your night vision. We're coming out into the picture, and there's no boats coming behind us. So Iowa is about 5 miles from here. We're going to pull in there, and we're going to fill up our gas tanks. We have a full tank of gas, internal tank right now, which is 10 gallons. And we have our big 6-gallon full still that we still haven't used since Prescott. But the seal around here isn't real good, so when you go to pour it, it starts dripping a lot. So that's why I was hoping for one of the fuel transfer pumps, so I don't end up spilling gas all over everything. So the next couple days we'll get one of those. This can is empty. Last night when I was going 2 miles north of here, there was a bend in the river, and then the Iowa River joins the Mississippi. And I kind of stopped there and waited for a barge to go by because the channel was real narrow. And he appreciated it, he said on the radio. And it was good, nice night. And And then so I used that 5 gallons and filled up. So that's why we're pretty much at a full 10-gallon tank now, because I only had to go another 2 miles after filling up. So, but in Lansing they have a marina, and the plan is to do these 5 miles, top off, because the gas tank holds 10 gallons, but with the tube, I think it's a 1-inch tube that comes up to there, that holds about another ½ gallon or a gallon almost that you can get. It goes from there all the way down into the anchor locker. And then there's also, out there's the breather vent, and that's a 3/4 inch tube that goes up by like a footer. You can almost get 10 point, I think it was 6.7 or 10 point, no, I think it was 10.96 is what a full internal tank is. But it also matters if you're tipping a little bit or heeling a little bit. And we're just motoring, so I'm not positive if the word heeling refers to just when you're sailing, or if you're in a boat all the time and when it's kind of tippy. In comments below, if anybody knows, let me know if the word heeling only refers to when you're sailing, or if it's anytime you're on a boat and it's tipping. So it's some beautiful country. You can see the fall colors popping out real good. Once the sun went behind that, the clouds there, it got down there. The actual air temperature is about 65 though, so that's not too bad. But we have the wind coming, and we're out on the water. So, being that it's only 2 o'clock, it might get a little bit warmer, but I don't know. At about 3 or 4, it says possible rain. We hooked up the Bimini. Last night I had opened up this side and opened it so I could see up. See all the stars and how amazing it was. If there's anything you guys want to see on the boat, I know a couple episodes ago I went over the kind of my morning routine and the electrical system. For eating, we have our little jet boil stove, and then we have our grill here. And on Lake Mille Lacs, we used to go the time when we eat on the boat, but I don't have a 12-volt fridge freezer. I was gonna get one. But I'm glad I didn't, because they use a lot of power, and we're doing good on power. Like, we have an abundant amount, but we don't have enough where we would be able to just go crazy and have a fridge freezer. Maybe if I had one of those wind generators on the back, or a few more solar panels, we can do that. There is sailing vessel Jaden Marine, which I'm in the Great Loop Facebook group, and they're doing the trip too. They're down in Mobile, Alabama. They're on a 25-foot or 26-foot O-Day, and what they did with their Bimini is they put 3 panels across and made like a hard Bimini. So that's something that I do, but I've never had the Bimini with the boom before, so I kind of have to figure out heights and all that once we get the mast up before we come up with that plan. And with the solar panels then being you know, straight up and down, no matter where the sun is, you get a little bit of sun instead of having it like how ours is in the back like that behind us. I was talking to them and they agreed too. It would be really cool, and I was talking to some other guys online. We could figure out how it's welded now, so I'd have to cut it. But if I could cut it there and then down there and have like a pin, I don't know how you do it because you can't reach from here, but we would do a hinge there, and then if you would need to, you could pop your panel up and it would face forward when you're like at anchor. You wouldn't really do that when you were sailing. It would be a lot of drag and whatnot, but when you're an anchor and you need power, it would be cool to be able to have that ability to just flip it up to face the sun more. To add more solar panels, we'll also add controllers. Something I've been researching a lot with solar, and I know with houses, the newest technology is micro inverters, where each panel has its own inverter. Because otherwise, when you have a string of panels, what ends up happening is that one of them gets shaded, they all end up doing the same voltage as the one that's shaded. but if you have an individual inverter or charge controller on each panel, then you get the most efficient use out of each one. It might be a little bit more spendy. Well, it is a lot more spendy, but overall it gives you more power. And I was looking on Amazon, they do now have like these little micro inverters for the 12-volt panels that clip right in. Special solar panel like hookups that you just stick it, and then it's right in line. They don't do much. They only do like 5-10 amps. It's not made to have one that you hook a whole bunch of panels to, just one panel per one. But I think that's definitely something we'll think about in the future, and maybe a wind generator. Jade and Marie, they have a wind generator, and they said it's rated at like, I believe, 10 amps or something at 30 knots, and that's, they don't get that much wind very often. And when it's just like, you know, 5-10 mile an hour wind or knots, which is different. I should always say knots in front of boat. We gotta get used to that. It doesn't make much power at all, but it does. It's enough to top it off. And all I would really need is 2 or 3 amps. So that at night when I'm watching the TV, which takes about 1.8 amps, doing my phone, which takes about a half an amp, and then charging the handheld radio that I had all day, that takes about another half an amp, give or take, and then other various things I'm doing or charging. And so if we could make 3 amps at night with the wind generator, we would never end up using any of our power store, and that would be nice. Especially in this day and age when everything's expensive and it's a big topic about being green and solar and good for the planet, I think it's kind of cool to have a sailboat, you know, that sails, that's efficient, you don't burn gas, and then to have solar and all that to help keep it going. It's kind of just really cool, and the evolution of what things are going to become in the future. I've seen with these OMC sail drives in the Facebook group online that somebody did convert one to an electric motor. And that's not in our budget right now or anything probably in the horizon. Unless anybody wants to donate me a bunch of money to put in an electric motor or an electric sail drive in the boat, go for it. I would love that donation. What is it? Not Blue Sea Systems. There's one out of Denmark that has an electric sail drive. I saw it on Sailing Uma. If they see this, I only get like 100, 200 views on a video, so it's not like everybody's watching them. But if they ever saw this and want to donate me something, that would be pretty cool. I'm really not doing these videos to try to be a big, huge YouTuber and be famous or anything. I'm just trying to do it to have my own personal diary. And then it's kind of fun and it gives me something to do while I'm going. Not just by myself, talking to myself. I feel like I'm talking to the camera. So, some more beautiful, beautiful country here. This is the Wisconsin side on the port side. And then we have Iowa over here. So it's interesting. I know one thing I learned from when I did my younger is the smell. Smell of the different states. They all have a different smell. And I remember when I would get back to Minnesota before, it always had like a pine tree, like a pine, like woodsy smell, and it was cool. And now we're getting down into Iowa, and you can tell it's a different smell. So it'll be interesting. And then eventually here, I'm guessing, eventually here, I'm guessing, sorry my camera kind of messed up and I had to pay attention. What I'm guessing, and it's going to be interesting, is once we finally start to get to the hearing people with the different accents. That guy's fucking cruising. Get down into Florida and stuff, and then hopefully we'll see some of those like cigarette boats and stuff. So now that I'm up channel markers, the green one, you can see they have like some reflective tape on it. wondering if I had a green light if they would reflect green. I know the red ones reflect red. Alright, so I wasn't paying attention, I was blabbing and we kind of went outside of the channel. Luckily I have the chart plotter here, so I was paying attention to the depth and everything. On the Hummingbird, it doesn't actually show you where the channel markers are and the channel is like the Navonics does. So, onward to Lansing, Iowa we go. Alright everybody, so we got some rain now. We've had really good cruising weather this whole time. But I knew this was coming when I looked at the weather earlier. It came a little bit later than I thought, so that was good. It was supposed to come at like 3:34, and right now it's 4:30. So, got the knee back here in the back. I also have a rain suit and all that if I really need it. So, look at the clouds. The wind's coming from the south, and looks like clear skies after that. I'm gonna go grab the boards for the door so we don't get water in there and get everything all wet. And then I'll be back. Alright everybody. So we made it over to the fuel dock. The Mellow's all tied up. They had a number. Let me clean the camera lens on the door there that you call, and then they come down and hopefully we'll be able to get some fuel, and we'll see if they have some water as well. That would be cool. Looks like they have a tiki bar during the season. And then there's a cool bridge here in Lansing, Iowa. Pretty cool. So we'll get some gas. Hopefully we'll be able to fill up our water, get rid of our trash bag, and then we'll head on down river. Alright, so we had a successful shore excursion. We were able to go over there. Now we were able to drop off all our garbage. I was able to go inside and fill up my water. So I have all three of them filled up. They hold 5.4 gallons. So we have at least 20 gallons of water. I use about a gallon a day, a little less. Drink about a half a gallon, and then about a half a gallon for cleaning dishes and other random stuff. So we should be good for 20 days of water. And then I topped up the fuel, and I filled up both of our, well, I filled up our one jug. That one was already full. And then we have our 2-gallon jug there for emergency, and I haven't filled up the 5-gallon one yet because that has like a weird hookup that goes to it, and the previous owner had it set up where you can pull out the cable from that and have a fuel switch thing and go to that one that I ended up taking out. I have all the pieces though to replace it and update it because a part of it broke. He just had plastic 3/8 fittings for the fuel instead of brass, and one of them broke. But if I end up getting that, I'll be able to just fill it up and then transfer it right out of the can. So, do one last little, ooh, I'm learning, go slow, of Lansing, Iowa. The storm, it looks like, has passed us, and on the radar we got clear skies ahead, it looks, because the storm is going north. So even if not, we have the Bimini, and that'll keep us safe and dry. One thing though, the cockpit floor gets wet, and I was in my socks, so now they're all wet. I'll have to throw on my garden shoes. I'll show you guys what they look like. They're not sailing shoes, but I've seen other people on sailing stuff have shoes similar. These I used to use on the homestead because they're waterproof. That's like having mud boot shoes, and your feet wouldn't get wet or anything. And then it's kind of like moccasins because they move to the ground with your foot because they're soft. And it was just always really cool. But I found they work amazing on a sailboat as well, and they keep your feet dry. So I'll have to throw them on in the future if it starts raining. So we're gonna cast off and keep on heading down river. Well, goodbye Lansing Marina Fuel Dock. You were good to us. The lady there was real nice. Since it's late in the season, they're closed right now. You just go up and there's a number on the door, and when she comes down, she lives a couple minutes away. They have really, really cute little houses here. Most definitely. So she was real nice. We got food, water, and gas. Fueled, fed, and watered. Now we press on. I think it's Prairie something is the name of it. Is the next place. So we're gonna try to make 30 more miles here at 5 miles an hour. So that'll be 6 more hours. It's about 6 o'clock now. Well, 5:30. So we should move till midnight. Then we'll have a good anchorage. So here we go. One thing I'm learning, especially last night when I had to chill next to that American Melody off the channel, is when you throw your boat in reverse, don't instantly start trying to turn like you're in reverse, because you still have some forward momentum. And if you switch it in reverse, give it gas, and then think all of a sudden you're turning in reverse, you are going to swing real wide, wildly, because the boat just still has forward momentum, and you have forward momentum turning. And it can be tricky with the river too, because it depends on the current. When you're going really, really, really slow, you might not really be moving at all, but the current is going by you, so you have forward momentum steering. Or you might be going backwards just a teeny bit, but the current is going, and you still have forward steering. So it's kind of one of the cool things you get to learn as you go, get to know your boat. And I'm getting pretty good at it. I can put her wherever I need her. We have a barge coming up here. I'll check the AIS and I'll get its name and I'll be right back. Alright, here's the bridge in Lansing. I don't know if that opens in the middle or what, but it's a really interesting design. Like it has 2 open spots there. It looks like that middle part, they just stuck there. Which is interesting, because normally I would think these top things give kind of support to the bridge as well, and you would want it all connected, like a suspension bridge. But that's not how that works. So, it's kind of cool. In the comments below, let me know if anybody knows the reasoning for that on a bridge, or how exactly that works. Last night when we were going, we didn't get to go under any bridges at night, and I was kind of hoping we would get to. But maybe tonight we will. It's funny thinking back to the first bridge up there by Bayport, and I was thinking, whoa, we're going under a bridge. This is crazy. We've never done this in this boat. And now you get to a bridge and you're like, bridge, cool. But they all look different, and they're built a little different, so it's kind of cool to check out the architecture of them and how they're all different built. You can see as we're getting farther south, they're starting to get taller and taller. So, what I've been told, once you get past Alton, Illinois, they're all 50 feet plus. So, alright, next kind of landmark is we have a power plant coming up here, a little south of Lansing. And then over here to the left is really cool. We've kind of been in a river valley for a while, and when it opens up, it's always really, really cool. are, a little closer to the power plant. In here we can actually see they're unloading the coal right out of the barges. Kind of cool to see the process if you've never seen it up close. Then it drops it, and there's a big old conveyor belt system. I think it drops either there in a pile, or I don't know how it works. There should be a whole system of conveyor belts and stuff to get it to where it needs to go. Pretty cool if you've never seen the process before up close or knew how it worked. I know I didn't really know how they got it off of the barges. I didn't realize it was just a big like crane that takes it right out and drops it like that. I thought it would have been like a vacuum kind of thing that sucked up all the coal. And that's how they make power. Nowadays, with modern technology, there's not a big bunch of crazy coal smoke coming out and it doesn't smell bad or anything. It could be just because it's not running right now as well. I have no idea. But if it is running, that's pretty cool that coal technology can look that clean. Ready to have another beautiful, beautiful sunset on the river. And we're going to be doing some more night traveling again. Take advantage of the nice weather, because the next 2 days, like I was saying, it's going to get down into the 30s. Tomorrow we're going to have an actual tailwind of about 20 miles an hour. So, see how that goes. We've always been kind of having a nose wind. I'm not a pilot, I don't know what it is. I know tailwind, I know that term. But wind from the bow. Boat term. So we've always had except like that first day. So it'll be kind of cool, and with 20-mile-an-hour winds, I wonder if it'll really push us. It'll be kind of cool to see what we can get up to. Cruising. It's starting to open up nice. So I'm going to motor for maybe about another half hour. Then I'll find a solar out of the channel and I'll anchor. And we'll make something to eat. Because we're not going to be able to eat in the middle of the night when we're going, because you got to pay attention. And get on my cold weather gear, and then we will continue on down the river. That's what the plan is right now. Alright, we pulled into a little cubby hole behind the channel markers here and anchored, and I'm gonna get something to eat is the plan. Hold on, I think the camera lens is foggy. That's a little better. It's getting chilly. About midnight, we're gonna start to get those 20-mile-an-hour winds. So I think while I'm sitting here, I'm gonna take the bimini down, or the tarp down that's on the bimini frame. And then I'll also be able to see the night a lot better. Tonight the moon is fuller, so we should be able to see real nice and get a good night run. I like running at night. It's kind of my preference now, because then there's no other recreational boaters out. And then, you know, don't have to worry about anybody's wake or anything. It's just you, the river, nature, and the elements, and it's kind of peaceful. So, my socks are wet earlier when I was standing in the cockpit still, so I'm going to let my feet dry off here too. So, when you see me, I'll be back in my cold weather gear. Alright everybody, we're in our cold weather gear. Got our balaclava on and all our long underwear. We're going to be pushing on to Pierre de Chan. I don't know how you say it. That's what it looks like on the map. And then tomorrow morning, or tomorrow afternoon when we push off, we should be able to make it to Dubuque, Iowa. So I'm going to get the anchor pulled up and back in the cockpit, and we'll be heading out. Alright everybody, we're back here. We got all our cold weather gear on and we're back in the cockpit. We ate some Campbell's chunky chicken noodle or something. It was pretty good. It's pretty amazing how bright it is out here with the moon tonight. This isn't even in night mode and that's how bright it is. I'll pictures in this video as well, like I'm going to do for the video from last night. And you guys are really going to like it. It is majestic and just amazing out here at night. If you've never been out on a river at night, or the Mississippi River at night like this, kind of out in the middle of nowhere, it's cool. It's really cool. So, or I put the tarp back off of the bimini frame because we're going to hike. And I don't want to have to be dealing with that tarp at night or anything. And I want to be able to look up and see the stars because it's pretty amazing. So, we're going to push on. Alright, the moon went behind the clouds, so it's not as nice as it was there. But we're coming up to Lock and Dam number 9. Alright, everybody. As you can see, we're not in night mode, and look how bright it is. We're coming up to Lock and Dam number 9. So this should go real nice and easy. There's no barges or nothing around, so I called ahead. He said, head on up. Oh, there we got the green light, so we're good to head in. Going into Lock and Dam number 9, and I'm not sure the name of the town, and it's nighttime and I want to pay attention, but I'll get back to you on the name of the town that this dam is in, Lock and Dam is in, once we get through. That's the plan. Here we go. Lock and Dam. Alright everybody. That is Lock and Dam number 9. I forgot to put it in gear there, so sorry if I reached down and it wasn't showing it. So, we're all done with that. Onward we go. Too bad now we lost. Okay, my mat belt. That is Lock and Dam number 9 on our journey south. Oh, while we're headed out, something I forgot to tell you guys. I ended up going into the Lock and Dam. And I sat there for about 5 minutes, and then I called the Lock and Dam again and said, hey, is there anybody going to come throw me a line? And the lady came down and she said, I didn't know you were in there yet. She said they saw me on AIS, but normally ships with AIS are much bigger, so they were expecting something a lot bigger to come in, and then normally a 25-foot sailboat doesn't have AIS. And
Yeah, so that was pretty funny, I thought. One of those little things that you end up having happen and kind of laugh about. And I'm glad I do have the AIS, so everybody knows where I'm at and I know where they're at. So we're going to continue on as far as I can go until I get tired or the wind really starts to pick up. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to anchor before the wind picks up or if I can just kind of keep going and maybe go into the sunrise. I did get a good 7 hours of sleep. And with the cold coming, not tonight, but tomorrow night being 30 degrees, maybe I'll just keep going and then just sleep tomorrow night and like tomorrow morning till like noon or 1 when it warms up. I'm not sure what the plan is exactly yet. We'll play it by ear and we'll keep on trucking.